What's up, you guys? Joe Dobby here. I am now a Deck Out Gaming affiliate. Use Joe Dobbs Deck Out at checkout. Deck Out Gaming has tons of singles for Pokemon, Dragon Ball Super, and Digimon TCG, as well as One Piece. They now buy list as well, so don't hesitate to reach out, and they got your back. Really high customer service ratings. Thank you guys, and yeah, let's get to the video. What's up, YouTube? It's Joe Dobby. It's been a while since I have posted a video for you, but I am quite excited for this new list that I made. I really like the new starter deck, the Ace MetalGarurumon starter deck. MetalGarurumon, I'm a big fan. As you can see back there, I've got the black and the regular MetalGarurumon, as well as the matte and Gabu. I don't know if you can really see that, but yeah, huge fan. And finally, I can play him in purple. The last time I topped with a purple MetalGarurumon was, I'll keep saying it, I know I've said it in a lot of videos, is 6th place out of 252 at a premiere event, and with a dash pack medal. And finally, we have a medal in purple that I can enjoy, and it's got some blue splash, so very, very powerful kind of combination of cards here. We're gonna go over my decisions. I know that some of these choices that you see right out the gate might not be for you, but hopefully through testing and through trying the deck out, you'll be able to really have a good time with it like I have. Matchups, I'll go over that very quickly. So far, the only decks that I've really managed to face are Shine Greymon and the Amphimon, like the Jellymon deck. And it's fine, actually. The deck is extremely fast, there's tons of draw power, and your early aggro leads to great late game finish. With Shine Greymon, I was really able to get them down to 2 security by turn 2 or 3 if you mulligan well or if you draw well, and ultimately you get game after that, as long as they aren't also being provided with Marcuses from that security, because they'll be playing their own Marcus, but as long as you're not giving them free Marcuses, you should be fine. And at the end of the day, this is the type of deck that's just gonna go face, and you just have to not be afraid to go face. That is the biggest thing. You actually need like the power of courage and friendship, like in the lore, to pretty much just go face at 8k, swing and survive and continue to do so. But we're gonna dive right into this very quickly. We're gonna do it right now. So first things first, we've got Tsunomon here. Tsunomon is a very good card. I prefer this BT6 Tsunomon as a 4-of over the other one, and I'll explain why. When you trash a card from your hand using one of your effects, you trigger draw 1. So this has no hand limit, no size or anything like that. You're just always going to be able to get a draw 1 whenever you trash cards from hand, and you're going to be doing that a lot in this deck. So I actually prefer the BT6 Tsuno. This is the starter deck Tsuno, as you are very familiar with, and if you have 6 or fewer cards when attacking, once again, right? So draw 1. So the reason why I'm not a fan of this is because if you're over 6 cards, you basically stop getting its effect. I know it's not once per turn, which is pretty awesome, but you'll get over 6 cards by like turn 2 if you're not hard slamming things. And you're generally not hard slamming things if your deck is built consistently. So I do prefer the Tsunomon, just so I can start to draw into to continuously build the line. Like if I'm swinging with Garurumon because I have nothing else, that Gabumon Inherit will trigger the Tsuno, allow me to get something like a Wear, Digivolve, draw. That's really what I'm after here. Next, we've got 3 copies of Gabumon X Antibody. How is this gonna play into your deck? Essentially, turn 1, if you open with this, you're hard playing it. I would almost always hard play it unless I have the structure deck Garurumon, the purple one. Or if I am bricked out and all I see is the Garurumon X Antibody, then I would decide to Evo in Raising, but you almost don't want to Evo in Raising here, because if you get the venomous starter deck Garurumon, then you're kind of in trouble because you're not going to have a line, right? So you'd rather hard slam this, especially if you're going second and you've been put to 2. You can put them down to 1 and have 2 bodies on board. Having 2 body presence is also very important, because you can Digivolve into both, with 1 at the front, 1 in Raising, and the front can provide some early aggro while the back Digimon in Raising is protected. Next, we got 2 copies of this Gabumon. I really do enjoy this Gabumon. It's a draw 2, trash 1. The only reason why I play it as a 2-of is when you pair this with the Gabumon X Antibody, if you're going second and they've given you 3 memory, you can slam this Gabu, or if you're going first, you Gabu in Raising, slam this Gabu out, and then Digivolve into Gabumon X Antibody on your next turn if they don't deal with this. And then have that X Antibody swing, you get a draw 2, trash 1 in addition to the when Digivolving effect of Gabumon X, which allows you to search the top 3. So lots of cycle just from these 2 cards alone, which is why I kind of get the limitations that have been placed by November 17th. But this is just the tip of the iceberg for those restrictions. I'm not going to go into that. But yeah, very powerful stuff, which is why the 2 of is mandatory for me. 3 copies of the when attacking Gabu. I chose this over the on deletion Gabu as 3 versus 2 because it's not a once per turn when attacking effect. So, you know, I can keep my starter deck or structure deck Sunamon that is a once per turn at 1 because this Gabu is going to be able to draw me and trash me 1 anyway. And it's not once per turn, once again, is why I'm playing this card. 4 copies of the structure deck Gabu. This is a great card, you guys. Like, if you're put to 1 and you've got this in Raising, as long as your opponent has a Digimon, you're almost always going to be able to Digivolve and pay the 2 memory because you're going to gain 1 at the start of your main phase. Its inheritable is also very good. It's a draw 1, trash 1. So as long as these inheritables are there, it's just a really, really powerful combination of Gabumons. So I really like this sweet lineup. Next, we've got 1 copy of Ginkakumon, 1 copy of Ginkakumon, and 1 copy of Promote. Essentially, you want Promote for Underworld's Call, and sometimes the deck needs trash targets that don't feel bad. So I actually like 1 of each of this because if this is in my hand and I don't necessarily need to trash Underworld's Call to draw or trash Nidhoggmon to gain a memory, I can just like no brain trash these 3 cards and not have to worry about it. And then if my opponent hits Underworld's Call Insecurity, then I have a Promote and potentially the full Promote package, which could gain me a memory and draw me yet another card. It's a little bit on the greedier side because you generally have a limited number of times you can trash things from your hand, but the Garurumon inheritable, doing it just so you can trash even if you're not deleting a level 4 is very good to kind of set this up for you as well. So this is the Venomous Starter Garurumon. I run it at a 2 of because if you're bricked out, if you have 1 rookie and you've been put to 3, sometimes I'll slam this instead of Digivolving and Raising. That way I can keep my hand size generally, good. And I can set up a level 5 Evo next turn at turn 1 if I'm going second and I've been put to 3, which is amazing. Once again, this Garurumon is not a once per turn as well as a draw 1, trash 1, so I find this very, very crucial to really get your pieces and to cycle through your deck as fast as you can. This is really what you want to do. You just want to go in and no regrets. Next, we've got 4 copies of the starter deck Garurumon. This can Digivolve over any Gabumon in name, so this can go over the Gabumon X Antibody. This is the only Garurumon right now, besides the Garurumon X Antibody that I play, that can do that. So, very important card. It's almost what you need to have always for a perfect stack. And when Digivolving, it's a draw 1, trash 1. So once again, you can continue to push the advantage in that regard. And its security effect is amazing. You can play a Gabumon or Tamer card with Mat in its name from your hand or trash without paying the cost. So sometimes if you do have the Promote and this is hit in security, what you do is you play out a Gabumon, the starter deck one, and then start your main phase, you go to 2 memory or gain an extra memory, you go into Promote over that, and then you swing, draw 1, trash 1, and then hopefully get into, what it is that you need to get into. Very great card. 4 copies of Garurumon X Antibody because this is the ultimate protection in security, and this is an absolutely important card because you are almost always going to swing with 8k DP only. That is going to be your first swing. If you're going to be absolutely aggressive, your first swing is 8k, and you need to have kind of like the guts to swing at 8k. And having this this stack with its protection inheritable from battle can be pretty important because all you need to do generally sometimes is to survive 1 of the 3 security checks you're going to be doing, because the other 2 security checks are less than likely to be things that would delete you by battle, especially if you're unless you're like facing Royal Knights. That almost doesn't happen. probability-wise. So you only really need this to protect you once, and then you can unsuspend, swing, and we'll get into that. I run this at 4 because I find that with my Gabumon X antibody at 3, I actually can just evo over it if I absolutely have to without any worries, so that's pretty good. Next, we've got Garurumon X antibody here. This is your unsuspend engine in addition to the other one. When digivolving, unsuspend this Digimon. Then if Garurumon or X antibodies in this Digimon's evolution cards, return one of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon to its owner's hand. This is a very tech choice card. I don't always go into this unless I can bounce a level 4 or unless I really want to push because I know what I have in the back is gonna be lethal, right? So I only run the 2 of because I generally do see them, so I'm not really worried about it. And it's just an overall great card. 1 copy of this promo Garurumon Sag mode, and it has the same protection as Garurumon X antibody, which I really value. In addition to that, if this Digimon is suspended and then you go into Garurumon Ace when your opponent tries to swing over it, you can actually trigger this all turns effect and protect it. That, I'm pretty sure that's how that would work, because you would trigger first all of the opponents when attacking effects, and the attack declaration would be on this suspended Weregar, and then you would counter timing, playing the Digivolving over this, and then the all turns would be live essentially, because I would be marked for deletion at that point if you have higher DP than me, and then I can protect it. So not only am I able to like end your turn potentially with the MetalGarurumon Ace, but I can protect the stack, which is, I think, pretty good. If that's a mistake, let me know in the comments. I never actually encountered that situation in testing, but that's something that I am kind of waiting to see happen. But at 1 of, it's not going to be a very common interaction anyway. Next, we've got 4 copies of this, obviously the new deck, Garurumon. I love this card because when attacking by trashing 1 card in your hand, unsuspend this Digimon, and it can Digivolve over any Garurumon in name for 3, which is very helpful. It's when attacking inheritable is also great because by trashing 1 card in your hand, delete one of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon, and that can be a Nidhoggmon to push you to 3 memory to evo over this again, or it could be an Underworld's Call to draw you into your level 6 and then go into Ace next turn or during counter timing, which is a very good thing. That said, the sequence here would be, you know, let's say I have a good stack, right? We've got the Gabumon here, we've got the Garurumon here, we've got the Garurumon X antibody, and we have this guy. So he's gonna swing, trash a card, unsuspend. He's gonna swing again. That allows you to draw potentially 3 to 4 cards. And by then you're hopefully gonna see this Garurumon X antibody that's not in your hand already, and then you evo into it, unsuspend, swing again for that 3rd check, and then you either stay there and do something else, like drop a second body, drop an analog youth, play Underworld's Call, do whatever, or you can go straight into Ace and then trash things that would gain you even more memory to set up MetalGarurumon X antibody. And then at this point, you would unsuspend again, bouncing something, and then potentially you could even like swing with this again if you have memory. So for that 4th check, and then trigger this first to delete a level 4, and then you're kind of good to go, which is really good. That said, the MetalGarurumon X antibody is what we're diving into right now, and yeah, this turns your stack into a blocker, and once per turn when it becomes unsuspended, return all of your opponent's Digimon to the lowest level to their owner's hands. So very good stuff. 3 copies of Nidhoggmon, because when you trash it from hand, you gain a memory. You don't really go into Nidhoggmon at all. You really do it for the extra memory gain, and I found 3. There was a situation where I was at 1 memory. Well, I was at 0 actually, because I paid 3 to go into Garurumon, and then I had enough inheritables to trash 3 cards, and I trashed all 3 of my Nidhoggmon, allowing me to go into MetalGarurumon. And then I triggered the when Digivolving effect to trash a few more cards. I could only trash 1 more card at that point, and then go into MetalGarurumon X antibody. So literally from 3 memory, you can do all of that stuff and potentially get an extra check if you've survived all the other checks. But once again, I have to remind you, the 8k is where the threshold is for you. You're not getting any DP boosts from playing the purple base, but you know, you do have the protection. So as long as you are not afraid, you go for it. 4 copies of Ace Melga. I find this 4 of like mandatory. There were times where I couldn't find him at 4 already, so I like him at 4. Blast Evo, Overflow. I find Overflow not being too big of an issue actually. Because this deck can end opponents' turns and stuff, I'm not really too bothered by Overflow based on my experience. But yeah, by trashing up to 3 cards in your hand, gain 1 memory for each card trashed. And when attacking, you may trash 1 card in your hand to delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest level. So that's why the bouncing of the WereGarurumon X Antibody and the deletion of the WereGarurumon structure deck inheritable is very important. Because then you can bounce, like, if your opponent has 2 level 4s and a level 6, you bounce a level 4, delete a level 4, and then delete the lowest level, which is that level 6 remaining. I actually did that against Shine Greymon. So I ended up wiping the board, and all he had left were Marcus's by the end of my swing with metal, which is really good. But once again, 11k only, guys, so you have to be really brave, and you have to set up your protection stack well. And 3 copies of Mat, because Mat is a play extender. All turns you can suspend it to gain 1 memory, and it is also a memory setter. 1 copy of Analog Youth. I am debating playing 2, and here's why. There's gonna be instances where, you know, you swing with WereGarurumon and you don't have the ideal protection stack, or you do, but you swing again and it dies. Analog Youth is absolutely crucial in that regard, where you can suspend it to hatch an egg and then rebuild that same turn. I find that rebuilding the same turn is super, super important, because you'd be 2 turns behind if that WereGarurumon did end up dying. So I'm actually debating adding another Analog Youth, which I probably will. I might cut one of the promote package cards for another Analog Youth, because I found in testing that I don't always pull off the full combo. And when I do, it ends up being a little bit too late. So I think a second Analog Youth for like a Ginkakumon would be great. 2 copies of Cocytus Breath, just because, you know, there's 4%, it's 4% of the entire deck, so the chances of it hitting insecurity is there. It's not non-existent. And if it's in my hand, sometimes what I'll do is I'll have a WereGarurumon swing, and if I don't want to Digivolve into any of my MetalGars, I will just Cocytus Breath away like their main stack and have them rebuild while my WereGaru stays. And if they happen to have something and they end up raising it to swing over, then I go into Ace, so I kind of gain memory back off that Cocytus play anyway, so pretty good stuff. 3 copies of Underworld's Call. Once again, it's for the draw power when you trash from your hand, and it allows you to play a level 4 purple level 4 Lord Digimon card from your trash without paying its cost. So with Underworld's Call, you can play like the Garurumons, which is very nice. Either of these would be great, especially if you're not pushing for lethal, or if they hit it in security. I would rather set up a Garurumon than a promote, because that allows me to go into WereGarurumon and reap the benefits. So yeah, that is pretty much the deck. Thank you guys so much. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I might be playing this at the regionals this weekend actually, so wish me luck, and thank you so much. Bye.